Hello, thank you very much for joining us today. This is your online tutor, Mr. Ilaki. So basically today we'll be looking at geometric progression. Okay. So under we'll look at sequence and series geometric progression. So our first question there says, given the geometric progression as 4, 8, 16, find A, the geometric mean of 56 and 1024. So basically what we're going to do in this particular case, imagine we don't have 8. So this is what we're going to do. So let's first find how we got 8. Okay. So we're going to use the formula A is equals to, so first of all, we have to identify our A is 4. Okay, then our B is we don't know, and our C is what, 16. So hence our formula B is equals to the square root of A multiplied by C. So we're going to substitute in our equation. Okay, so hence going to have B is equals to 4 multiplied by 16, which is going to give us 64, and the square root of 64 is 8. So basically this is how we got the 8, which is here. So this scenario can also be used for us to find the mean. We have been told to find the geometric mean of between 56 and 1024. Okay, so we identify our A as 256, B we don't know, and C is 1024. So our A in this particular case, our B is equals to the square root of A multiplied by C. So we substitute. So 256 multiplied by 1024. So this will give us 26,200, and this is 26,244. Okay, so this is 26,244. Okay, then the square root of this is just 512. Okay, so this is basically our answer, or the mean we are looking for. Well, this is how we find the mean for this particular question if you were asked to find the mean. Okay, move on to question B. Told to find the 11th term. So how are we going to find the 11th term? So we have our formula. So first we need to identify what we have. So we have our A in our first question there, okay, as 4, and our R. Our R, we divided the second term and the first term to find our common ratio. So our R is our common ratio. Okay, so our formula is Tn, okay, which is equals to A, our first term, R, common ratio, to the power n minus 1. Okay, so we're going to substitute our 11th term, which is 4 multiplied by 2 to the power 11 minus 1. So we replace where there is n by our 11th term, since we are finding the 11th term. Okay, so from there we have what? When we subtract 11 minus 1, this is 10. Okay, so we work out what, when we multiply 2 to the power 10, we're going to have 4 multiplied by 1024. Okay, so 1024 multiplied by 4, we get 4096. So therefore our 11th term is 4096. Okay, so basically this is how we find the 11th term. Even if they give you another term, this is the formula you're supposed to use. Okay. Okay, now we find the next question 3. Okay, find the sum of the first 11 terms. So we identify what we have. Our first term is a, which is 4, and our common ratio is 2. So the formula we use to find the sum of the first 11 term is Sn is equals to a open bracket r to the power n minus 1. Okay, so therefore over 1 minus over r minus 1. Okay, so we substitute in our equation what we have. So 4, okay, which is our first term, open bracket, 2 to the power 11, since we're told in the 11th term. So where there is n, we substitute by 11 minus 1. So we work out what is in the bracket over n minus 2 minus 1, I mean. So our common ratio is 2, so 2 minus 1 on the bottom side. Okay, so when we work out 11 to the power 2 to the power 11 minus 1, we get to 2047. Okay, so over 2 minus 1 is just 1, so we multiply 4 multiplied by 2047, so we get 8180, okay, as our answer for the sum to the infinity 10. Okay, so we now move on to the next question 2. So the geometric progression, okay, in the geometric progression, the first term is 16 and the 16th term is 4. Calculate the first term and the common ratio. Calculate the first term and the common ratio. For us to calculate, we need to know certain principles. We are only given the first term as the third term as 3 and the fifth term as 16. So we're going to use our formula, which is for the nth term. Okay, so Tn is equals to a to the a, then r to the power n, a, then r to the power n minus 1. Okay, so we get our third term. So third term is equals to a to the power r 3 minus 1. So our first term there we get which is 3. Okay, then from there we work out, since we know that 16 is equals to the third term, so we'll replace where there is 16 with where there is T3 with 16, which is equals to, when we work out this, we get a to the power n minus n a minus r squared. Okay, when we subtract 3 minus 1. Okay, then from there we need to solve for a. Okay, so in order for us to solve for a, we divide both sides by r squared, even this side by r squared. So therefore our a is going to be 16 over r to the power n. So this becomes our equation 1. So we are now going to deal with our equation 2. So we know that for the fifth term, okay, fifth term, where we have is equals to r to the power 5 minus 1. So our fifth term, so we get the n to be 5. Okay, when we subtract this, we get 4. So we know that our fifth term is equals to what? 4. So we substitute where there is fifth, with our 4 here. Okay, so this becomes our equation 2. So from here now, we are now going to substitute. Okay, since we know that our a is equals to this, so we're now going to substitute in equation in this particular equation. So our a, we know that this is 16. So where there is a, we're going to replace, we substitute by this as shown below. Okay, so we substitute. So so we're saying 4 is equals to 16 over r squared multiplied by r to the power 4. So when we subtract, when we multiply r squared multiplied by r to the power 4, so we're going to, this is going to cancel and we're going to remain with r squared only. Okay, over, so we're going to have 16r squared. Okay, so this into this will have 2r squared. So from there, for us to find the value of r, we divide both sides by 16. Okay, so when we divide both sides by 16, this and this will cancel, so we have 4 over 16. So r squared is just going to be equals to, so 4 into 4 is 1, then 4 into 16, this is just 4. Okay, so hence the square root, so we introduce the square root so that these two can cancel, so this 2 and this, the square root to cancel. Okay, then the square root of 1 over 2 is just 1 over 4, so this becomes our common ratio. So this becomes our common ratio. Okay, then we move on for us to find our first term. Okay, so having found our common ratio, we will now substitute in that equation which we had as equation 1. Okay, so we'll substitute for us to find the first term. Okay, so we have a over a is equals to 16 1 over 2 squared. Okay, 1 over 2 squared. So when we work out this, we're going to have 16 divided by 1 over 4. So 1 times 1 is 1, then 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. This is how we're getting 1 over 4. Okay, then from there now, we're going to divide. So this 16 divided by 1 over 4 is just the same as saying 16 divided by 1 over 4. So now we're going to change the signs. So when we change the sign, the denominator comes up, the denominator goes down. Okay, so we have 16 multiplied by 4 over 1. Okay, so from there, when we multiply 16 multiplied by 4, we get 64. This becomes our first term. So 64 becomes our first term. So basically, this is how we tackle such kinds of questions. If you have got any question, please let me know through our online classes. Thank you. We proceed to question 2. Find the sum to infinity. Okay, so we have this as, so for us to find, this is 3. Okay, the sum to infinity, we use this formula where we have 64, 1 minus 1 over 2. Okay, 1 minus 1 over 2. Okay, hence from there now, okay, alright, so now from there we we'll substitute. Okay, we'll substitute. Okay, so our a was supposed to be on top here, sorry, then 1 minus r. Okay, sorry, I skipped it. Then from there now we multiply. Okay, from there now we multiply, or we work out this. Okay, so when we subtract 1 minus half, this is just 1. Okay, then we divide 16 divided by half. So from there the denominator comes up, the denominator comes there, so they will swap. Okay, since the signs changes. So 64 multiplied by 2 is going to give us 128. Okay, so then for question 2, we are told to find the nth term. Okay, the nth term. So the formula for finding the nth term is basically Tn, where we have a, then r, n minus 1. Okay, so our common ratio and our first term we know as this, so it's just a matter of substituting. From there we're going to have the 10th term, 64 open bracket 1 over 2. So we're told to find the 10th term, so which is 10 minus 1. Okay, so when we subtract 64 minus 1 over 2, we're going to have 1 half to the power 9 when we subtract 10 minus 1. Okay, then from there we're going to work out this. So we know that 1 multiplied by multiplying itself by 9 times is just going to give us 1. Then 2 multiplied by 2 by 9 times we get 512. From there now we work out what we have. Okay, so this and this will multiply, we're going to have 64. Then 64 divided by 12, this basically we will reduce. So this 64 is 1, then this into this is 8. So this is just going to be 1 over 8 as our answer. Okay. Alright. Thank you very much for watching. This has been your online tutor, Mr. Ilaki Stay Blessed.